Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, how are you, jazz hands?
I'm not in my uniform tonight. Look, and I'm
Well, you're just letting the side down, obviously.
in the grey bedroom again.
I have to
At
say, I only just
Timmy's.
made it. I got all the horses back in. I went to put the water down to off the water bowsers, but somebody switched the bloody tap back on.
Asher, because we didn't. I was leaving, and I thought the horses wouldn't have any water.
Yeah, that's all right. It doesn't matter. I've
So
switched it off again tonight. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
We'll just have our little family chat here while we're here. Pierre, hello, Pierre. You're top of the show. Hello, Pierre. Hello, all. Angela Holland's here. Hello, Angela. Hi, guys. Vicky Ware's here. Hello. Good morning. I couldn't read that then. Good morning, everyone from Australia. Good morning, Vicky. Good to see you. Annie Hogan's here. Evening, all. Maggie Thrussell's here. Hi, everyone. Charlie Brown. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Charlie.
Kelly Moore. Hello, peeps.
Hi,
Happy
Kelly.
Hump Day.
That sounds a bit rude.
Only in your head, Gary. Are we talking camels?
You were thinking about it as well. I don't forget I know you.
I don't know why it's Happy Hump Day. Evening, my dear cult friends. Evening, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
We are here in the cults. Hey there, lovely warriors, says Dawn. Virginie's here. Hey there, Virginie. Vivian's here. Vivian Patterson. Hi, everyone from California. Anne's here. Hello, Anne. Ooh,
great to see Max doing so well. Have you seen that one, Lindsay? I bet you haven't.
No.
Yes,
What's that?
On one of our private WhatsApp groups, Max is out marching on a track without boots today.
Yes. And did everybody see the post from Gorsworth?
Yes. We're successful day today.
So we were all a bit nervous. Ooh, what's going to happen with Wexford? We were excited and all a bit nervous. You're always a bit nervous because this is mid-rehab. We don't do mid-rehab x-rays because usually vets are not keen, right? But he had his eyes wide open and it was brilliant. And he learned more about hoof boots and the toe, and he couldn't believe. I mean, we're not going to show x-rays out there, but at the moment, I don't know when Bethan will, maybe later on. But he couldn't believe that the angles looked so much better, of course, and more natural than they did when the hoof capsule looked better in his head. So before, when he was in shoes and the hoof capsule looked better, the x-ray was rotated, obviously because the heels were high. And now we've got the long toe growing out, we've got the new growth coming in. And all that gas line, from the separated lamina that was there, that's all growing out, and the new growth hasn't got any of that. It's just great.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait for you to get home so I can see them.
Yeah, brilliant. Hi all from sunny Alberta, says Marianne. That's lovely. Hello everyone from Pennsylvania, USA. Hello Melanie. Uta's here. Good evening from Baden-Baden. Is that where you are? Baden-Baden. I think yeah. Baden-Baden. Baden-Baden. Frederica's here. Hey y'all. Janet Welsh. Evening all. Teresa's here. Hello. And Chopra from the heat dome of Ontario. Is it hot? I'm a bit hot. I haven't got my ear stuff on or anything, or my cap, and it's quite warm. I've been complaining that it's been cold. Hi guys, this is Sarah. How did you get on, my lovely, when I left you this morning? She was doing a grand job, Gary, trimming, getting into that wedge, making sure it's all balanced, getting it down. Yeah, she got right into the furry bit, and then she got the wall down at the toe, correctly, balanced beautifully, took her time, didn't rush. It was a lovely trim. Really, really lovely trim. Well done, Sarah. Caroline says, gosh, I've missed this. 2 weeks in the UK for a wedding and several other visits. Glad to see you all again. Glad to see you. I loved your post.
That's a good party.
I loved your post about the you know, the science bit. If you're not part of the change, you're part of the problem, right? That's the thing. Leah's here. Hello from New Zealand. Hello, Leah. Aston's here. Hi all from a much rosier looking South Africa this evening. Oh, moved Raven from the yard today. That deserves it. Is that going the other way? The wrong way? That didn't make a sound then.
Did it not?
Yeah. There you go.
Dear, my wife's got raising her eyes at me.
She's in a wonderful new spot and can now peacefully and positively rehab. I am so. Do you remember? You know, I've said this before. The doors will open. The doors eventually open. You work hard enough, the doors will open. I'm so pleased for you. Angela Moore in the dome with you, Anne.
Hi, Angela.
Sarah Lou, wow, amazing, Aston. It is amazing. Joe Moss, hi. First time my lammy pony out on the track, plus lammy donkeys, all HM. Are you being able to trim those donkeys now? Because I remember your recent rehab
or something. How can we do that?
I don't know. What you mean, like my dad was in the Masons, and we used to call it when I was growing up. We used to call it nod, nod, wink, wink. I mean, it was called that. I mean, we always say nod, nod, wink, wink, right? But as a kid growing up, I genuinely that was just the name we called it. Like, you know, you might call anything. And we'd be going, is your dad going nodding? That's what we used to say. When's your dad going? Is your dad going nodding this week? He's gone nodding. Because you called it nod, nod, wink, wink. But they have a special handshake, don't they, where they put the thumb in or something bizarre. They kind of fiddle about with I don't know what they do. They've got a very... Anybody on here that knows what the Mason handshake is? My dad never really told me, but it was something to do with the thumb, I think.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not. They're not meant to. Vivian says, "Congrats, Aston, on the new home for Raven. So glad to hear about that. It's brilliant." Pia says, "Teresa, what tar cream were you talking about in one of the lives last week?" Oh, for the Mozzies. Morning, says Jenny Hyperion. Morning. See, we saw you before you went to bed. It's weird, isn't it?
Last night, your time, but now it's morning. So we've had a busy day. You've been sleeping.
So weird. Clicking in. Gosh, a very honest post just up on Phoenix Way about a stallion with osteonecrosis. Would love to hear your thoughts. I think we've had that stallion up before, haven't we? I think that owner is.
I looked at it this afternoon, and I did put a comment on. The lady, Paula. Have I pronounced that right, Rach? Paula.
I think it's Paula.
I think that's a man, isn't it?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Paula is a
man's name. She's had the horse for quite some time. The osteonecrosis was there when she got him. There's some past x-rays. And I have to say, with regards to the trim, which is what the post was about, what is going on with the trim, they used x-rays to get the heels down, which is great, but the toe right the way through into the lamina.
They didn't.
So, yes. Yeah. Which is a huge shame.
It's a huge knock for the hoof. It's a massive setback.
It is. So I put a fairly lengthy post up about basically the hoof care. But hopefully now, she says that her hoof care practitioner is open-minded, which is great. And I think it's really positive because this lady is currently doing her veterinarian training. So hopefully, and she's got plans to do the challenges after she's finished her studies in July, which is all very encouraging. But this is a horse that he's got a will to live. And I think that's a big part of. But yes, we have to manage people's expectations, don't we? Because that bone is significantly disappeared. And yeah, any change to his feet is going to be fraught with problems. It's about quality, isn't it? Quality over quantity.
It is. Okay, well, you're on it. You're on it, Gah. You can deal with it. Angela Garberg, evening all. Bonsoir.
Hi, Angela.
Sandra Randall, hi everyone. Hope you're feeling better, Lindsay. I am, and yes.
I was fine. It was Lindsay that was in bed.
I was not well yesterday. I just had this. I was sweating. I had poorly tummy. Well, nauseous. It was a bit migrainey, but not complete migrainey. It was very odd. Had to go to bed. Slept for hours yesterday. Really not like me at all. Connie's here. Hello, everybody. This is Connie. Monica's here from Czech. Hello, Monica. Tracy Gray. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you.
Hi,
Melanie's here. Hi, Melanie. Oh, you've already said hello. I'm sure we had. Oh, no, Lindsay. Just said, Lindsay, I messaged you about a time on Saturday. Okay, I'll look at it later. I'm sure it'll be fine. Thank you. Susan, I hope you feel much better today. I do. I didn't feel good this morning, but then I had a call with Sarah and it made me feel much better. That was all fine. Nova's here. New clackers, Gary.
Oh, did you not see Nova? I did do a thank you. Now, if Lindsay was at home, she'd have one and all.
Yeah, because you sent because you sent the one, right? And then it didn't arrive. So there's another one. Well, eventually the other one arrived. So we got 2 clackers. I've got one and he's got one. Thank you, my lovely. Oh, thank you. I hope your boy's doing all right. Has he moved? Sarah, the near 4 just needed a little tidying with my new knife. The bars are gone. I have been on a high all day. No longer do I fear the fur. I will need to improve on my technical vocabulary. You did so well.
No, you don't. It's going to actually be called the fur from now on. It is.
Angie Medler. Hi, Angie. It was good to see you today too. And Rosie and Dean. Hello, I'm glad you're feeling better. I am. Thank you for your precious time this morning. I'm so appreciative of you too. And I look for the consultation with Asha tomorrow. Asha is with Angie on the free consultations. That's going to be fun.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow then. But very briefly.
You're going to be in the background. Mm-hmm. Jeanette's here. Bonsoir. A bit late, but hi, everyone.
Bonsoir.
Vivian says, heard from Hillary, HM. We are starting our free consultation. So looking forward to it. Oh, that's great. So for those of you who don't know,
Hillary today,
brilliant, dear Hillary.
Awesome.
And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we asked you to fill in forms if you've done the challenges or been on a workshop, if you would like some free consultations with our final level HMB Pro students, because what we're now building into the 2-year training course is a whole level or a whole section where they're already going out and doing their professional practice in person, but now we're going to do professional practice online. And so we've been busy marrying people up with our students, and they all got paired up a couple of days ago, and now they're all going to start doing the consultation. So it's very exciting. Very, very exciting. Jenny tried sleeping.
Yes, I bet.
Thanks, Melanie McCrow. Hi, everyone. Hi, Melanie. Dawn, looking forward to my consultation with Judith next week. So great. I'm so looking forward to this. We weren't sure because this is brand new. We are adapting as you know, as the Phoenix group grows, and so many people want help in the future, and maybe in the next run, which won't be that long, maybe in a month's time, we'll probably open it up to people who haven't necessarily done the challenges, but we wanted to give it to people who had done the challenges or in-person workshops first, because we thought that was fair, because you guys are already on the same page. Make it a bit easier for the students, hopefully. So it's going to be great. I'm thoroughly looking forward to what it's going to have. We've got loads of you. I mean, we've got over 20 people that are going to be having, oh, hello, something's happening on my, sorry, I've just gone quiet because something's happening on my computer. Dawn Jackson's here. Hi everyone, glad you're feeling better. I am. So,
Hi, lovely.
what are we going to talk about this evening? Cheers.
You have got to, it's been on the list for days. And because we haven't been online for days, it's even more days.
Yeah.
The enthesis organ.
I talked about that the other day.
Did you?
Oh.
You sure? Okay.
Oh. I talked about that. I talked about the enthesis
perhaps
organ.
I nodded off then.
No, we chatted about it. So what is an enthesis organ? An enthesis is where a tendon or a ligament attaches to a bone, and it's how it becomes bone, or is it how the bone becomes tendon? Is it how the tendon turns into bone, or the bone turns into tendon? And when we have strain on soft tissues, on tendons or ligaments, that are caused usually, I have to tell you, by uneven hoof care, uneven because the horse is also it could be having issues, caudal issues, pain in the wrong parts of the foot, mediolateral imbalances, dorsopalmar imbalances, anything that has a hoof that is not correct to their natural foot can put strain on these soft tissues. And the pull, the direction of the pull of the soft tissues, right? Let's imagine the short pastern bone. So the short pastern bone has ligaments attached to it. And if those ligaments get damaged, then what happens at the enthesis where it's attached, it starts to turn more into bone. So it was ligament going into bone, and then it turns more into bone. And then you've got this sharp, on an x-ray, you see this little slither of a sharp point is what it looks like, but in the direction of the ligament or the tendon. And it's very obvious. It's very obvious what you're looking at. And we call those enthesophytes. So they're different to osteophytes, which are little bony growths. So you can call an osteophyte on a ski tip of the pedal bone, which is a ski tip. That's an osteophyte. But an enthesophyte is when they are on creating bone because there's been damage and inflammation and problems with the little fiber structures. And what they found out is that by looking very, very, very deep down into these structures, they found out that the fibers of the let's say it's a tendon like the deep digital flexor tendon, the fibers are in a particular matrix, and then they change, and they slightly change, and then they change into bone. And that, plus often there's a bursa involved. We talked about money bags, didn't we? There's a bursa involved, and often there's a fatty part too. So if we're talking about when we're talking about the DDFT, for instance, that is a tendon under a tremendous amount of strain. And what is really interesting is that these particular enthesis organs, where you have organ being all the parts of where this area is, where this tendon is connected, and the bursa and the fatty tissue and all of that, the whole thing is called the enthesis organ. And what they're finding out is that the DDFT, because it's in an area of tremendous strain, is like the archetypal enthesis organ in the human being, which is the Achilles tendon, which is obviously attached to the calcaneus. And if you've ever done your Achilles tendon, I haven't, but I've known people who have, it goes off like a gun. And because it's under tremendous amount of strain, that tendon. And we never think about it. We never think about how it's connected into the bone. And it's that connection and that area and those molecules and the chemical reactions that take place when you get strain and pull on those little fibers and how they change, and then the inflammation, and then a whole load of molecules come rushing in, the whole area gets inflamed, and during that process it starts laying down bone. the body lays down bone to try and mitigate any tearing or mitigate any more problems. And then the inflammation subsides, but what you're left with then is more of an enthesitis, because that has now, you know, is this bony growth in the position of the DDFT. So when we have navicular and navicular syndrome, and everybody's just looking at the navicular bone, and we see problems or not with the navicular bone, it's all about the navicular. Really, you focused in on the navicular, but in actual fact, there's so much more to it. They now know it's to do with the enthesis organ. It's to do with the whole podotrochlear apparatus. And frankly, what we see day in, day out in our job, when we are taking on animals that have been with another flavor of hoof care professional, we see tremendous amounts of imbalance in the hooves. Now, okay, you might say that other professionals would say the same about, well, they wouldn't say it about us, but they'd certainly say it about maybe other barefoot pros, etc. But genuinely, it's what we see. And a great deal of what we see is this chopping off the toes, right, and leaving the heels high. So there's a lot of people right now on the internet that say there's more ways than one to skin a cat. So there's more ways than one to give comfort to an animal that's suffering from laminitis. But the problem is, and I've said this many, many times, and so has Gary, we cannot and must not and must stop painting every lame horse that looks like it's staggering with a laminitis diagnosis that is thought to be caused by an endocrinopathic pathogenesis. So it's not. It's i.e. diet and management, hormone imbalances, insulin issues, PPID, that sort of EMS, that sort of stuff, because of diet and management. What we find more than probably anything, honestly, is we find more problems with the laminae, and they will inflame if they are being stretched, by rotation, which is caused by incorrect hoof care. So what we now have is and this has been going on a while, we have people in the world who say, if you put clogs on and you wedge and you put these rocking clogs on, it forces the animal to rock forward. I mean, apart from the fact it must feel absolutely awful to an animal that relies entirely on its feet and its legs as its method to escape, because they are prey animals. They're now put into this bizarre rocker where they're pushed up. Now, the reason they do that is to say that they're releasing strain on the DDFT, but they don't ever talk about the whole podotrochlear apparatus as it is. And so now they're doing this, but here we have problems at the tip of P3 now, because we know that if you put an animal like this along there, it's all about the DDFT. It's all about the DDFT. It shouldn't be. It should be all about the bone in this instance, because that bone is going to be pushing onto soft tissues that are going to get damaged. And when they get damaged, that will damage the blood supply to the bone. And then you've got a whole host of problems that will not turn around. So the stallion that we were talking about earlier, he has been in high heel situation, P3 been in the wrong position. That has caused bone death, because it's caused a necrosis around, an osteonecrosis. So it's to do with the blood vessels being pinched and not giving that bone nutrition. And then it dies. Well, you can't get that back, guys. So if your horse is going into osteonecrosis, you can't get that back. You can stop it, but you can't get it back. Oh, my face. However, with the DDFT, where they're saying it's the pull of the DDFT that's pulling P3, it really isn't. It really isn't. Now, have the high heels caused a situation where the DDFT is, perhaps more contracted than it should be? It's not what we find. It's not what we find. You do genuinely get contracture in the back of the foot with some horses, but they can't put the heel down. These horses that are laminitic or painted with the laminitis brush can put the heel down. It's not a case of they can't put the heel down. They haven't got heel up in the air. So it's a bizarre way of thinking that you can rehab an animal by physically doing something that's going to cause another part of the foot harm. And they say it gives them relief. From what we found, it's very, very short-lived if it gives relief at all. Whereas the way that we do it, and we're not our method, but the way that we are trying to teach people and encourage people to learn about, is understanding where the foot should have been in the first place. How would that pony or that horse how would they have had their foot in the first place? And then where are we now? We've gone from this to that monstrosity. We now have to bring it back to this, because in this position, with all of that on the ground, all healthy, it's the most perfect position for the horse. So you can't heal something. What I'm trying to say is you can't go along the healing pathway successfully when you're causing pathology in different parts of the foot. And the final note on this is you've just got to look at success rates. Because as long as there's not osteonecrosis, and the horse is willing and the owner's willing, and generally the horse is always willing, pretty much, unless they're just so gone with it. But that's rare unless they've got osteonecrosis. And even the ones with osteonecrosis actually are fighters usually. If the owner is on board at that point, then none of them fail. Only if we have osteonecrosis. Now, that is a bold claim, and it's totally true. But in the traditional world, they fail all the time. All the time. In fact, what we see are rare failures, and what they see are rare successes. And we show them. And we get the traditional world coming out and going, oh, show us the evidence. And another one on the HM page, and another one at Galsworth. And how many more pieces of evidence would you want? Oh, well, it's not in a paper. That's just stifling progress. Stop doing that. That's just silly. Does everybody stop here at the paper? There's always people that are looking and observing and wanting to think things out and make things better. And if you say it's not in the paper, then you're just stifling progress. So I genuinely think that the world, you know what I think because we're on about it all the time, but the world has genuinely got to stop meddling. You have to stop meddling. And they'll do it for various reasons. Oh, you can't bring the heels down straight away. You can.
You can.
You can.
You really can.
What would you rather have? Osteonecrosis or...
The only time that you don't is when there's caudal heel failure. That's the only time. But that's rare.
And anyway, the foot isn't high at that point.
No, it's not. It's too low.
It's actually too low. And why is it too low? Because the back of the foot has gone into... The whole foot has gone into failure, including the back of the foot. And usually that's in thoroughbreds. Yes. We did where Gary, you saw that little video? It's gone viral, that video. It's
I've got model hands.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views that's had.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I went off on them one then.
That's all right. It was interesting. Everybody was enthralled.
Everyone thought about that. Honoured to have been matched with Melanie says Yendell. It's Yendell. Yes.
Yendell. And good old Louise. You'll have a lovely time. Batman. Yeah, when you get on there.
So how's your Batmobile, Louise? I've been told to ask you about your Batmobile. She'll be like, still off the road. She did at the end of the last live. I did. Well, I've just done it again.
I think it was quick. I think that we got the lengthy version this time.
I think the point is, and I'm not going to go on and on about it, but the point is that it's ignored. That's what I'm trying to get over to you, that part of is ignored. And those fibers that are in there, they think are intelligent. And I'm not talking intelligent like it's very difficult when you use the word intelligence, like we're using artificial intelligence now, aren't we? That is a learned in the computers learning this intelligence and building and building and building, and we call it an intelligence. There's lots of intelligence in the body because it's all communicating all the time. It's incredibly clever. All of it is communicating all the time. Cells next to cells are all communicating. All the interstitial areas in the tissues, they're all communicating with each other. Everything is communicating all the time. And what I think I'm trying to say is we're a bit Neanderthal about it sometimes. It's the navicular bone. No, it's like far bigger than that. The problem that horse is suffering from, it's not just the navicular bone, it's a whole thing. And you have to rehab the foot thinking of it as a whole thing too. Get them out of shoes. Stop shoeing them, guys. That's one of the big reasons. Dawn Lim, question. When I pick up my retired horse's back leg, he pulls it up really high and holds it there for some time. Any ideas why? I've never had a horse do it before. The left is worse than the right, but both are affected. Yes, it does happen. It's they don't really know why. It's slightly shivery, but with shivers, they pick up very, very high very quickly, hold it up and shake and slam it back down. So you can't get anything done. We've got a horse like that at the moment. You can't get anything done. Then you get a bit more, that's a bit like this, which is a bit stringhalty. They call it stringhalt, where it comes up and it kind of holds there. And it's very, very high. And then they kind of hover about and you can't get them to sort of relax. Nobody really knows. They think it's a neurological thing to do with the nerves. It's often in bigger horses. You don't tend to see it in ponies and small horses. You tend to see it in the bigger animals, in the bigger horses. Oftentimes when they've been ridden far too early, when the spine was still forming, where that incredible spinal cord was running through, and then all the little nerves that run off it, big nerves, and that's all still developing. And we now know that the pelvis and the sacroiliac joint and all of those things can, over time, if these animals are put under undue strain and person sat on the back riding them, etc., too early, this can cause a mal-development in their bones, because obviously they've still got growth plates. Now, I'm not, and the spine is one of the last things, obviously, to finish fusing, the growth plates finish fusing. Now, I'm not necessarily, and that's what's happened with yours, Dawn, but it does do that sometimes. That often, you know, is this the black one or the coloured one? But that is usually wow. Fascinating. That's Enthesis. Dawn, my horse has always done this too. It seems like he's resisting or wanting to kick, but I always thought it was just a stretch. No, it's very different. They're different. A horse that's just going is different to a horse that goes and holds it there. That's different. It feels different. It looks different. They behave differently. A horse that I just saw lightning. A horse that is wanting to kick, they won't just hold their leg up. Oh, thunder. If I end up going off, that'll be why, just so you know. There's lightning and thunder out there. A horse that wants to kick, that's different. That's just a completely different feeling. We have 1-2 that does that in the back legs. Always wondered why. My old mare does that too. I need to get her relaxed and hold the leg down, or she can't hold it up at all. They don't know. They think it's a neurological thing. We know that we've got so many bony spinal issues that go on with these animals and in their pelvis. But there's also anxiety that has a lot to do with it. Definitely, there's an anxiety there. So it's getting at the root problem, the root cause of that is very difficult. But keeping an animal relaxed, taking their minds off their leg, lots of scratches. What we tend to do with animals that are a bit like that is like we'll go down and we'll touch their leg, and I just touch the hock, and if they pick up, I disappear, and I go around to a different leg, and I touch the chestnut, they pick it up, I go away, I go and take a picture, and they're like, what am I? And they're like puppets. They're like, what's she doing? She's just touching legs, and I'm picking up and I'm moving around, and before you know it, they pick up a leg and they just stop doing it. That's a nice little trick that you can use. I thought he was going to kick me, but he doesn't. This is new behaviour. It's not. Is this the black one? I might talk to you about that actually. Here, it's odd as I pick up a foot, nearly touch. Yes. Yes. Tell me what's the black one. Yes. She also got her foot really up and a little side. Can't hold it there long. When I pick it up again and get it near ground, straight back, like she can't hold it. That's more like shivers. That's more shivery, that one. And I mean, they're very similar. And Chopper, personally, I don't need papers to prove success. I have success of one of my saved 20 plus years ago, all the proof. Right. It's just so short-sighted to think that if it isn't written in a paper, it just can't be right. Because that's not how science progresses. But I mean, we've talked about this many times, haven't we? Hello, Vivian. Sorry, have you been having dinner? Melanie says, had a vet friend of mine started talking today. Vet friend of mine. What, talking to you about what? Tell us more. What is she talking about? Frederica, Chaplin used to jerk his foot up too, only in the hinds, but he has not done it lately. He's a big boy. Yeah, they only do it in the hinds. They don't do it in the front feet. It's only a hind leg thing. And it's big horses usually. It's the coloured one. I'd like you to video that for me, if that's possible. Can you video him doing that? I can see it, so I know. Does he do it? Now, this is a question, right? Have you brought him in, tied him up, and has he been standing there? You've been doing his front feet, fiddling about, and then you go to do his back feet? Does he do it then, when he's been standing around? Does he do it when you just walk up to him on the track? And if you can, I mean, I don't know, some horses you can, I can, some horses you can, some horses you can't. Well, I've got some that maybe I might not be able to walk away. But if you like suddenly went up to him on the track, put his halter on or rope around his neck and just went, want to pick your back feet up, love? Can I pick it up? And he goes, and does the same thing. Does he do it every time? Or does he do it specifically when he's been standing around waiting for you to pick his feet up? Melanie, to me, the vet, talking to you about what they were learning on, and her professor was teaching the class how navicular is. No, not at all. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, my God, it so isn't. In fact, I read a paper not that long ago, I'm talking about papers, where this was a systematic review of 99 papers that I think it was 99 that had been written on navicular, and the overwhelming conclusion was that heart bar shoes and current remedial treatment does in fact not significantly help, and that what they should be doing is working towards preventative to stop it happening in the first place. And by doing that, you need better body posture, better riding techniques, better training, and definitely better hoof care. Genetic, tiny, tiny, tiny portion of it. And I have to tell you, we've said this before, you know, you may in your line have, lightning, have smaller navicular bone than normal, or a bigger navicular bone than normal, or a slightly skewed navicular bone than normal. That just loads the gun. That just loads the gun. It's something else that pulls the trigger. And with navicular, nearly always the thing, always the thing that pulls the trigger is imbalance in the foot. And therefore causing pain as well. Pain in the back of the foot too. My horse doesn't jerk the leg up, just swings it up and forwards, then relaxes. Sometimes he'll go on to stretch out backwards. Yeah, yes, they do that too. Again, horses that are standing around, don't stand them around. We don't like to see horses. We don't like to come and trim horses that have been stood around in a stable waiting for us. We much prefer to trim a horse that's just been brought into the field because they're loose and they're all warmed up. If you go and trim a horse that's stuck in a stable, they need to stretch. You pull out their front leg and suddenly they're like, whoa, and you're like, okay, just go with you. Oh, big stretch, big stretch. Because they just need a stretch. They've been standing still for so long. Dawn limb, I see it in such horses with hypermobility in the sacroiliac joint. Yeah. Sacroiliac joint's got a lot to do with it at pelvis. Bring my girl to New Moon end of July. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I'm so pleased, Anne. Oh, I'm so pleased. There's a tear to my eye. Oh.
Back together again.
But don't be thinking that the two of them might bond because they might have different friends now. Just warning you. Just saying it. Putting it out there. Putting it out there. Jackie, hello, late elderly parents here. Hello, elderly parents.
Hi, Jackie.
Tara, could it help to trim on a sloping ground? Maybe putting the horse in a different position would change the neurologic pathways. Just a thought. If I have a horse that is having, if they've got shivers, you've had it. It doesn't matter what you do, nothing's going to work. But those horses nearly always look after their feet, don't they, Gary? It's bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen a shivers horse that has got back feet that are problematic.
Yeah, and a lot of time and I think the important thing is that they move a lot. They're encouraged to move a lot. It can get much worse if they're stood around doing nothing. So being out 24/7 and having places to go and people to see and all of that that horses need. But I have to say, we've got a shivers horse, and I did trim her at the beginning, but it wasn't easy, and she progressively got worse. And then it was really when she was going out for a ride, she got onto the horse box and she'd just be quite happy in there, and she might just rest a foot, and then you just get in there, pick it out, have a look. Yeah, it's all right. That's it. And she hasn't been trimmed on the backs for years.
Keep them moving. If you know that you have a horse that, and especially as they get older, any horse, they're movement animals. If we keep them standing still, waiting for the farrier, waiting for the barefoot trimmer, stood in a stable, whatever, tied up, honestly, they need to move. It's much better that they're moving around and then we go to trim them. 100%.
And I think a lot of these problems occur if we're talking about prevention is better than cure. Let's let them be adult before they're ridden and doing heavy work.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on.
All of these things can be preventable, but we have to take it on the chin when we end up getting these horses later in their life, because we haven't had that choice. So it's about managing the situation. But if we're going to live in an ideal world, let's actually have the horses living right from the start. That's the prevention. That's the prevention.
Because so many of us are buying, well, we're not buying, or give a lot of the time, aren't we? Horses, or inheriting, shall we say, horses which are damaged.
Yeah.
They are. They're either damaged in the head and the body, or just in the body and not the head, or just in the head. Usually both. I will do a test tomorrow and try and video him. I haven't ever tried to pick his foot up when he's on the track. Thanks. So yes, do it while he's been moving. Pick it up. Does he do the same thing then?
Be interesting
it's a
to know.
psychological thing too. Tara says, Macho will barge off, march to a slope and stand there with his leg up waiting for me. It's interesting. I wish you could see what I could see, because all I can see is big lightning all out of my window.
It hasn't got to us yet.
Oh, it's coming.
I can hear it though. I can hear the
Can you hear
bags, but I can't see any lightning yet.
We're about 20 minutes away from each other at the moment, because I'm at Timmy's house.
Rachel's telling me there is. She's just been to shut the chickens in.
Ash is going to have to go and show him it's time. Just trimmed Chaplin today. Looked at the back and nothing was there to trim that I could see, so I left them. We'll post feedback tomorrow. Yeah.
If they're in equilibrium with their environment, don't go trimming just for the sake of it. Have a good look. Check the bars. If it's all balanced, leave it alone.
Check the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right,
Awesome.
what else should we talk about? Anything else you'd like to talk about? What have we done today? What else should we talk about? You decide. I've had lots of calls today. Gary's had quite a lot of calls today. Have you had calls today? Yeah, we've been on quite a lot of calls. Spend our lives on phone calls, Zoom calls.
Phone calls, Zoom
very nice.
calls, messenger
very interesting.
calls, WhatsApp calls.
It's really interesting because, you know, I think if COVID hadn't come along, we'd be a bit backward with all of this still. But
yes,
that, in my mind, is probably the only thing that we can be grateful for, is that we got totally a world that was even more connected. No, yes, that you told me that. Amish are not nice to their horses, and I didn't know that. I just imagined sweet people that just wanted to remove themselves from society, our society, modern society. But I thought if they needed their horses, that they would, I don't know, see them as, yeah. But
I think they eat them as well, don't they?
Anyway, should we talk about something else?
Yes.
Talk about something else. Talk about the challenges. How many people have been doing challenges recently? And how many people have posted up in the group that they have their Hoof Hero t-shirts? Come on.
Well, I know Rachel's been ordering many t-shirts today.
Ooh.
So there should be a new load of people coming along showing off their Hoof Hero t-shirts.
Excellent. Vivian says, did you discuss the white Arabian horse already from Friday and the black stallion from today? We discussed the black stallion briefly at the beginning. Gary has been on that case. So Vivian, go back and have a look at the beginning again. And the white Arabian horse.
I can't remember about that one. I see so many people.
I don't know about that one. And I daren't go and see if I can try and find it on the group, because it'll be miles away if it was Friday. We are Wednesday and it will be forever away. What was the problem with the Arabian horse?
I can't remember. Shall I see if I can find it while you're
so many posts.
Let me see if I can find it.
There are a dime a dozen to them. So sad. The ground is very hard here. Macho gets a lot of cell build-up. Is there a time when we should consider leaving it for protection? Oh, certainly, yes. Certainly, you won't be able to take it. If the horse wants it for protection and you're trimming regularly and you understand what you're looking at, then the horse will naturally have a much harder sole, or what will appear to be a much, it's not that it's harder, it's more compact in the drier months. Because the ground is harder, and they definitely do appear to put more calcium, because then as you go into the winter months, oftentimes you see big chunks chunking off. So as long as you trim regularly, as long as you're always making sure that you don't come along and go, ooh, that it's always good to measure the horse's foot and to measure the angle and go, right, that's not really changing. Great. if it starts changing and the angles start changing and the heels start changing, you know you're on a loser, and that's no good. Frederica said, finished the 15-day, started the 10-day last night. Whoop, whoop. Brilliant. Excellent. Love to hear what you find out, what you think about it. Anne says, just sourcing my legs to do my final 10-day challenge. Ooh. I love it if you can get cadaver legs, because it's great if you do your own horses, I get that. But if you can get a cadaver leg, it brings a whole different piquance to it, because you can take your time, basically. Any progress on the hoodies? Are these the Phoenix Way ones? Well, we kind of got to a point, didn't we? And then we were like, oh no, we're not doing that now. All the cult stuff and all of that. And then nobody really could quite agree. And then we were sort of, people just wanted it as the Phoenix Way. Some wanted it as Phoenix Warriors. Some didn't want it as Phoenix Warriors. Some just wanted to have it as the Phoenix rising, hoof care rising from the ashes, and that sort of thing. What was it, Ash Rach? What the quote was that we were thinking of?
Can you remember what the quote was that was going to go on the back of the Phoenix hoodies?
Rising above it all, the Phoenix Way.
Rising above it all, the Phoenix Way.
What do we think of that? Rising above it all, the Phoenix Way. There's that as well. Difficult. I kind of don't want to choose. I don't know. I don't know. Catherine says, finish both 15 and 10 days. Need to record a trim instead of that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah. Good. So it honestly excites Gary and I that you guys are just so in it. If Virginia, if you're still watching, I have downloaded your photographs and I promise it's going to get done. Life has been a nightmare. Poor Virginia's been waiting for me to do her assessment for about 10 months. Started, oh, hang on. Therese says, I just finished part 1 online course, 1-to-1 book next week. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing you. Woohoo, Catherine, says Frederica. I love the fact you all support each other. I love it. Dawn Jackson says, started watching the challenges again recently, building myself up to trimming Ginger and her funky feet. You're fine. You are fine. You do some lovely trims when you were at the workshop, so just pretend. I'm hitting walls trying to source cadaver legs, I'm sure. Well, of course, yeah, you need them, don't you? What do they do with fallen stock in Spain? They must do something. They must have a system that comes and collects fallen stock. They do in France, but they're not brilliant at letting anybody have any legs. Have I done enough to get a VIP cup yet? We haven't made any VIP. Well, we did make the VIP cups. The VIP cups are in place of the phone case. You either get a phone case or a VIP cup, because a lot of people haven't got phones that we have the models for, so they get a cup. It's one or the other. How rich do you think we are? Oh God, that was a huge amount of lightning just gone off then. Jackie Kenny says, I didn't trim Nell's back feet for 9 weeks. I think I'd been over trimming them. She would constantly rest one at the other foot. Gradually, she stopped resting them and stood square. When I trimmed them, interestingly, I only had to trim the inside of the hoof, because she slightly goes out laterally. Well, there you go. Almost getting into equilibrium. Just a little bit of tweaking needs to be done. What's yes, yes, yes? Yes to which one? Well, yes to Phoenix rising it above it all. Phoenix, hoof care rising from the ashes. I don't know. What is it? Virginia, no worries. Look forward to get the feedback. I'm so sorry, my darling. I promise you I'll get it. You're in my head a lot, thinking, Virginia, sort Virginia out. And there's others as well. It's not just you. You're not on your own. There are others. You know, we started this thing, and we've got to go out and do it all and do all these assessments. The Phoenix Way at the front, Hoof Warriors at the back. See, Hoof Warriors. But we call them Hoof Heroes and Phoenix Warriors. Now I'm confused. I don't know. Manana. Is
I
that
think
you
that's
not?
mañana.
Oh,
It's Spanish, Lindsay. Come on,
I feel
lady, get a grip.
so stupid. Of course, it's manana. So, must go to bed now. Love my mug. Bye, darling. Bye. I'm glad you love your mug.
See you, Dan.
I'll need to book the 10-day again. Then I feel like I'm missing a collectible. I'm going to put up. We are going to have some stuff that you can buy, but obviously it won't be a VIP Hoof Hero one. Okay. Jenny says, I was trimming a pony with separation this week and trying to balance was a bit challenging as the eye was drawn away by separation. So I filled the separation gap with hoop putty to level that side. Wham, and I got my balance right. Oh, well.
If it worked.
I've never had to do that. That's interesting.
Yeah, if it worked. If it got your eyes to concentrate on the important bits.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, lovey.
Ginger is now breaking off hoof wall at the toe. Does this mean she doesn't need the fur anymore? It means that she's got cracks in her hoof wall, is what it means. And
the hoof wall is compromised. That's the only reason that it starts to snap off.
Does manana mean tomorrow?
Oh. So it was something else.
No,
so
it is manana. Manana. But don't we say manana? Does that mean tomorrow? I thought it just meant whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever,
whatever.
That's what I thought manana meant.
I'm going to have to go on Google Translate now. It is tomorrow. Good Jackie's Lanzarote.
Oh, actually, I was thinking we need HM saddle pads. It's never going to end, is it?
OMG.
I sent Bethan the first water bottle. I sent her a Phoenix Warriors water bottle, and I haven't seen it actually because she did the unpacking of the cup, didn't she? But she didn't do the water bottle. And but apparently that looks really cool. A blue water bottle with red Phoenix Warrior written on it. Tomorrow never comes. That's the essence. Oh.
Thanks, Julie.
See, you think I know everything, and I just simply don't. Ask me anything about hooves and legs when it comes to other stuff. Yep, it worked a treat. Interesting. It's interesting. I like it. Just the one-to-one video trim and solo trim to do to complete second part foundation course. Unfortunately, so my dear dad, 3 months ago, so everything's been put on back burner for. Oh, my love, I am so sorry to hear that.
Sending hugs. Not easy.
That's tough.
Oh, apparently she did the water bottle. We didn't see it. Oh. I haven't even seen it yet.
I've seen the unpacking of the. She's got more coming as well.
Yeah, she has got more coming.
She don't think she's watching this. I don't think she's watching this. But I've had little T-shirt done for Farmer Rupert. It says Farmer Rupert on it. It says I'm a hoof hero, Farmer Rupert. I think it says I'm a hoof hero. Or does it just say Phoenix Ray? Can't remember. I think it says I'm a hoof hero, Farmer Rupert on the back. And then I got one for Cyrus and I got one for Heathcliff. And I also got one for Dan, which is the best. Quite funny. Shannon Orr says, hello.
Hello,
We've
lovely.
nearly gone. Did you have a good conversation? Did you have a good call? Or was it tomorrow? Don't know when it's going to be. Sarah, but think of the mobile advertising for our barefoot babies at show. You could go mad. I could spend a fortune on it. Yeah, because that's why people say to get you to go away. And I'm here thinking they will get back to me tomorrow. Oh. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so sorry, Jeanette. Oh, that's brilliant. I love Farmer Rupert. Isn't he a dream?
He's
He's
cute.
such a dream. He's such a dream. She's going to die for her Brahma. I think so. I think she will as well. I hope she unboxes that one and shows that, and I hope he loves it, and I hope it fits. Right, we've done an hour. Spot on, exactly. So it's time to say goodbye. And thank you so, because we are going to try and get back to doing that. Da, 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 da. La, 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 la. Din, 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 din.
Wait, so
Oh,
Rachel's
loves the sound of
opening up
music.
thing.
TTFN. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Okay. Bye-bye.
Take
Take
care.
care now. Bye-bye-bye.